So, hello dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So, today I am going to discuss about the climate change, its adaptability, energy security, food security and sustainability. Means the relationship of climate change with the adaptation of human behavior, energy security, whatever energy is there, and it's a security for today's future and coming future, and then food security, and after that sustainability. Though, so these are the very important terms that has been related with this climate change. So first of all, the definition and the meaning of this climate change. So climate change, we can define it as like a average weather condition of a particular place is called as a climate. So if we talk in a smaller way, so it can be like average weather of any particular place is called as climate. So the Earth's climate is changing dramatically because of human interference due to human behavior and interference. The Earth's climate is going to be changed, and the climate is influenced directly by temperature and other meteorological conditions like wind, precipitation and glaciation. So due to human behavior, human activities, climate is going to be changed in terms of the rain, in terms of average monsoon pattern, in terms of adaptation, glaciation or like wind. This is called as climate change. And this long-term variation in temperature is a major cause of climatic change in the environment. This variation in the climate adaptability after up to a longer term is called is a major reason of this climate change. Climate change and other environmental issues, all environmental issues like global warming, acid rain, ozone depletion, many environmental issues, all are interlinked. That's why we are discussing climate change in terms of adaptability of human beings toward this changed climate, adaptability of wildlife, security, food security, sustainability, because the sustainability is a very much important. Sustainable development we can achieve by a balance between the economy and environment. That's why, so that we are studying this climate change in terms of sustainability of this environment, because average weather pattern has been changed from previous ones to new ones. So because of this average pattern change, security towards food and crop production and energy production, everything is going to be disturbed. And due to this disturbance, the adaptability has been come inside a human being. So due to sometimes what will happen, less crop is there, more crop is there. So because due to this average global average weather condition has been changed, so the dependency on monsoon has been changed. Somewhere drought condition is there, desertification is there, somewhere flood condition is there. So in this way, though many conditions of this environment has been changed, so automatically adaptability of human being has been developed toward this climate change. Adaptability, food security, energy security, all has been arrived due to this change in climatic pattern. That's why this climate change is very much related with the socio-economic behavior of a human being, and it is related with the sustainability of a nation also, sustainable development of nation also. So now we are going to discuss about what are the evidences behind this climate change. So first of all, we'll talk about the global temperature rise. So there is a rise in the average global temperature. In this way, we can say there is evidence of this climate change. Like this climate change has caused the planet's average surface temperature has been risen about 2 degrees Celsius. And from the last 19 centuries, if we compare from last 19 centuries, the temperature pattern has been changed. So with the rise in temperature, the crop rotation, human behavior towards this environment has also changed. Due to this, human beings and wildlife has been adapted to a different type of conditions. And then next point is the warming of ocean. Ocean has started absorbing more infrared radiation and increase the heat. With the top of 100 meter, means like a top layer of ocean is going to be heat, because about up to 328 feet of ocean, that is showing warming of more than 0.6 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit. So this is called as warming of ocean. Ocean has started warming, and its heat is increased with the top 100 meters. Next is the shrinking of ice sheets. Ice sheet of North Pole and South Pole, and South Pole is shrinking due to this average increase of temperature, because temperature has increased, heating is increased, and this heat is causes the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets to decrease in the mass. So this was about the evidences that has been related with the climate change. Means as per this evidence, we can say that the climate is going to be changed from 19th century to 20th century if we compare with the last 100 years of data. In this way, food security, energy, human adaptability, energy security is also come. Next point is that glacier retreat. Glaciers are retreating almost everywhere in the around the world, like Alps, Himalayas, Andes, Rockies, and Alaska. All glaciers are retreating almost everywhere around the world. This is and these glaciers are like Alps Glacier, Himalaya Glacier, Andes, Rockies, Alaska. Next is the snow cover has been decreased. Decrease in snow cover. So the snow cover is decreased due to this climate change, because the all average global pattern, heat pattern has been increased. Heating of atmosphere is increased. This is causing the decrease in snow cover. Snow cover has been decreased due to the more temperature. And next is the sea level rise. Obviously, this with melting of glaciers, with expansion of glacier, the sea level has been risen about 8 inches, like 20 centimeter. 20 centimeter of mean sea level. Mean sea level is rise. And the decline in Arctic sea ices. So both the extent and thickness of Arctic sea has declined rapidly over the last several decades. So from last 10 years, the Arctic sea ice has been declined, and the extent and thickness of Arctic sea has declined rapidly over the last several decades. So this was about the evidences that has been related with the climate change. So with that much of change in climate, how human has adapted toward this behavior, how human, wildlife, and how they will be normal with this kind of enormous change in the weather. So this will be a very tough condition for a human being or a wildlife. So that sometimes what happens, if we'll talk about this negative effect of this climate change, automatically famine condition has been come, drought condition is originated, flood is only originated, and this climate change is also lead to extinction of many species, wildlife species also. So this was the drastic effect and negative effect of this climate change. Food security is there. And in this image, you can see that this is about the sea level rise in the of average if we'll compare with the last 100 years of data. And this has been given by IPCC. IPCC is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and every year they are publishing their report on climate change. So this report has been published by IPCC. The red curve shows reconstructed sea level since 1817. From 1817, you can see that the mean sea level is there, and the blue will show coastal tide and gauge measurement since 1955. The black curve is based on satellite altimetry. So this black curve is based on the satellite image. So you can see that the mean sea level, average annual global mean sea level is how it is increasing. Because this year means like last 100 years, this red color is the reconstructed sea level fields since 1817. Now blue curve is the tide gauge, means this one blue cover will show the tide, the waves that has been coming in this recent year. So this is the blue color, and black color is the, you can see that is from imaginary that has been image that is given by the satellite, and this has been given by IPCC in the proof of this sea level is rising with the evidences for this climate change. In this way, we can see that the sea level has been increased for 8 centimeter from last 100 years. So now comes to the next thing. This is the cumulative change in volume of Arctic glaciers since 1960. So you can see that the change in volume of glaciers means the glacier volume is changing, means reducing due to the expansion of ice cap, and due to the melting of ice cap, the glaciers is reducing. So melting of ice cap causes melting of glacier, causes melting in of glaciers is caused by climate change due to global warming. So this picture is about the change in volume of glaciers, and you can see that 4 flags is there: North American Arctic, Russian Arctic, Eurasian Arctic, and all Arctic. So this is all Arctic. So the volume of this glacier is reducing. If we'll take that, if we'll compare with the last 100 year of data, like 1960 to up to 2000. So this will again and evidence toward this climate change, and this climate change is not a natural. It will be happen with a human behavior. This will be human induced only, because due to human activity, Earth's global temperature is increasing, greenhouse gas is increasing, global warming is increasing, and this global warming causes the melting of these glaciers, and due to the melting of glacier, this kind of the volume of glacier has been changed, like this you can see. So this is the evidence regarding the change in the volume of glaciers of last 100 years. Now this graphs is related with the average global temperature that has been increased from last 100 years, if we will compare. So first is the annual average, and this one is a decadal average, means decadal average of every 10-year average of this, and this one will be the annual average. So in this way you can see that there is a huge increase of the temperature from last 100 years. Like this in the sea ice is also melting. This is same graph is there, and then global average level released to 86 to 2005. So this is like a global mean sea level change from 1900 to 2010. So this way we can say that there is a very much change in the climate change. In climate, if we compare with last 100 year, this is about the mean global temperature has been changed. This is about the decadal average temperature. This is about the expansion of ice extinct. This is global mean sea level, and this one annual precipitation over land. It is also changed, like this observed change in surface temperature. Surface temperature is also increasing. This will be observed change in the surface temperature of last 100 years. So what will happen with this climate change? Melting of polar ice cap. You can see that these are the North Pole ice cap. They said this has been started melting. So from 1979, more than 20% of the polar ice cap has melted away. If we compare it with the last 1979 data, the 20% of the polar ice cap has melted away, and this is all due to rise in sea level through global ecosystem out of balance. This will be going to endanger many species and animal. This global warming is a reason of extinction of many species. Extinction of species also, because this will leads to the change of average global pattern of any individual. So for a wildlife, for a human being, if they will be able to adapt in the new environment, they can sustain. But if some animals are like that, they will not be able to adapt in the new atmosphere to the new conditions, so that their amount, their total individual is going to be reduced, and due to this reduction, with the time they have been vanished also. So this climate change is again a reason for this extinction of species also. So this was about the melting of polar ice caps. Now comes to the next point, the how this food security has been arrived in today's world due to this climate change behavior. So this the current food system that will be starts from the food production to transport, processing, packaging, storage, retail, consumption, and loss and wastage, that is going to feed great majority of world population and support the livelihood of over 1 billion people. Means over 1 billion of people is benefited with this current food system, and this current food system will consist from each and every step, like from production to its loss and waste, from production, transportation, processing, packaging, storage, retailing, consumption, loss and waste. So due to this climate change, there is a decline in yields and crop suitability are projected under high temperature. So climate change will decline the yield of any crop, decline the yield of a crop and its suitability to any atmosphere under high temperature, because due to increase in temperature, the adaptation of that particular crop will not be possible. So this will be like, it will be especially in tropical and semi-tropical region, this will be happening, and heat stress is there. So this heat stress is going to reduce fruit set and speed up the development of annual vegetables, resulting in yield losses. So heat stress is there, temperature is changed, temperature is more, heat is there, temperature is increasing, so that this will be causing decline in the yields of any crop, and the crop cannot be suitable for that changed environment. So automatically its yield has been reduced up to a level. So that this will be a very much negative effect that will be caused due to the climate change, because all nation will depend, all people, due to this much of population, all are depending on the current food system, because food is very much important for a human being survival. So this kind of average change in global pattern is created a food security, because due to this average increase of temperature, due to the uneven global average global pattern of weather, heat stress reduces the fruit set and speed up development of annual vegetable, that will be sometimes resulting in yield loss, impaired product quality. This heat stress is deteriorating the quality of fruit and increasing the food loss and waste. So this was about the negative effect of this climate change towards the food security, because food security has been increased due to this change in the global average weather pattern. So this was about almost 1 billion people is there in the world, and they are totally dependent on food, and the current food system will involve every step of the food, like from its production, transportation, then its processing, packaging, storage, retailing, consumption, loss and wastage. So this will be going to feed the great majority of world population, and that supports around 1 billion of people. So this was about a climate change towards the food security. This climate change will lead us towards the food security, and this is the main very great issue, the issue of concern with this climate change. Now comes to the next point, the impact of this climate change on human environment. Means it's impact of this climate change, meant in which type of impact it will cause us. So in here also we are discussing about all these type of condition, like human environment that will be seriously affected by sometimes extremes of weather climate. So this extremes of weather climates will lead toward the flood and droughts, because extreme average global pattern is there, extreme average condition of climate is there, and this will lead toward the floods and droughts. So due to extreme change in climate, human beings suffer from sake of drinking water. See, this is the effect, like due to extreme change in climate. Extreme change in climate means it will lead toward the more heat is there, more heat is there, so no water is there, dry condition will create. So this will be not be allowing a human being for a safe drinking water also. Next is the change in climate may affect the distribution of vector species like mosquito, which in turns spread infectious disease like malaria, filariasis, dengue, diarrhea, yellow fever. So due to this climate change behavior, due to this uneven climate pattern, the distribution of vector species due to this climate change behavior, the effect of distribution of vector species and mosquito, that has been changed, and that has been many diseases starting, many infectious disease has arrived, all because of these mosquitoes. And the examples of this disease is the malaria, filariasis, dengue, diarrhea, yellow fever. And there is again, we'll discuss about the reduction in food production. This will lead toward the starvation. So the food production has been decreases due to this heat stress, due to this more temperature is there. And then next is this climate change will lead toward the migration of human being also. So this climate change is related with the social background also. Socio-economic effects is also there due to this climate change, because this climate change will causes starvation, famine, drought, flood. This will affect a normal human being, so that they will start migration, or sometime if they will be able to survive, they will survive in this condition. Otherwise death is there, some diseases is there, some they will going to new place. So after shifting to a new place, population explosion is there. So this will be a very much dangerous effect on the society also. In this way, we can say that this climate change is related with the socio-economic parts of a society also. This will be going to, if it will be affect social human beings, social issues is there, then that will be directly affecting the economy of a country. In this way, country economy is going to be reduced. Next point is the adaptation of human beings toward this climate change. So adaptation means the adjustment in ecological, social, or economic system in response to actual or expected climatic stimuli and their effects or impact. So this will refers towards the adjustment in the ecological condition that has been created, social condition, economic pattern in response to actual or expected climatic stimuli and their effects or impact. And it again, this climate change adaptation refers to change in process, practices and structure to moderate potential damage or to benefit from opportunities associated with the climate change. So you can see that some adaptation process is there. So what is this? First one is the monitor and evaluate the adaptation. Then assess impacts, vulnerability and risk. Means we should have to access which will be the impacts and what will be the risk on a human behavior, on a human being. Then a plan is there, that plan will be made for the adaptation of a human being. Then implementation of this plan. So how to implement this plan with sharing information and knowledge and guidance. And this plan implementation will be done by strengthening technical and institutional capacities. Next is the facilitating the provision of financial and technological support. After that, what is there? This is the engaging a wide range of stakeholders. So they will make plans, policies towards the adaptation of human beings into this changed climatic pattern. Into this food security is there, energy security is there, this climate change is causing. So if we'll involve more stakeholder, industries people, then they can make a wide range of plans and wide range of ideas so that a human being can be adapt towards there. Then again is the raising awareness and ambition. Means awareness should be increased and providing political space for the engagement of a normal people. Then sharing information, knowledge and guidance. So this will be adaptation changes, adaptation be a flow chart that should be for a normal human being, that they can adapt, or their policy government should make to adapt a human being towards this change climatic pattern. This and it is a process, practice and structure to moderate the potential damage or to benefit from us opportunities that is associated with climate change. Means what we can do, we can minimize the negative effect, and we can take potential, and we can take potential advantages from this climate change. So if we'll make a flow chart, if we'll make a plan, then automatically this human beings, wildlife should adapt towards this changing global average pattern. Now comes to the next thing. Now we are going to discuss about the IPCC. IPCC, what is this IPCC? IPCC is an intergovernmental panel on climate change. IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and it has been created in the year 1988 with the purpose of studying the evaluation of the phenomena of climate change and its consequences. And this IPCC made its first report in 1990, and they kept making new ones every year. They will publish their report regarding the change in climate change report has been given by this IPCC. Every year they will publish their report, and the last report they have published in the year October 18, and this will be focused on the impacts of temperature increase by 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, and the GHG emission pathway was built in attempt to address policymaker more directly. So this will be focused on greenhouse gas emission. And this will make a pathway regarding the attempt to address the policymaker more directly, that the policymaker should focus on these things to make more policy regarding this change in climate change. Next is this is the chart. You can see that this is about the Earth's energy budget, means how this Earth energy is distributed in different sectors. So first of all, incoming solar radiation is there. Solar radiation will come, and that had been absorbed by lands and ocean up to 51%. 51% of the Earth solar energy has been absorbed by this Earth, land and ocean, and then it will be carried to cloud and atmosphere by latent heat of water vapor. In the form of water vapor, it will be evaporated towards the clouds, and almost 64%, almost in among 64% has been absorbed by the cloud. And what will happen, conduction and rising air will bring some of the solar radiation again by absorbed by atmosphere. 16% of it absorbed by atmosphere, and among this 100%, 6% is reflected back to the atmosphere, reflected back to the clouds, and reflected from Earth's surface also. So this was already reflected back to the atmosphere. This picture is all about the Earth's energy budget, how this solar radiation is coming and where it will be absorbing, and how it will be going back to the atmosphere again. Now we will discuss about the greenhouse effect. This climate change is due to the greenhouse effect. Climate change is due to global warming, and global warming is due to the greenhouse effect. So what does mean by greenhouse effect? It is a process by which absorption and emission of infrared radiation by atmospheric gases warm a planet lower atmosphere and surface. It is a process, greenhouse gas effects is a process in which the absorption and emission of infrared radiation by atmospheric gases that warms a planet's lower atmosphere and surfaces. Naturally occurring greenhouse gases are there, and they have a mean warming effects of about 33 degrees Celsius, like 59 degree Fahrenheit, without which Earth could be inhabitable. So what are the main greenhouse gases? So CO2, carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbon, methane, nitrous oxide, perfluorocarbon, sulfur hexafluoride. These are the greenhouse gases that will be responsible for this greenhouse effect. Means these greenhouse gases causing the Earth global average temperature increased by the process of absorption and emission of infrared radiation by the atmospheric gases, and it will be warm the Earth's planets and lower atmosphere and surface. Now, this is the picturization of this greenhouse effect. You can see that solar energy is coming from the sun and passes through the atmosphere, and the same energy is reflected back, that is out of space. And Earth's surface is heated by the sun and radiated the heat back out toward the space. And this greenhouse gases is the atmosphere trap some of the heat, so that in the Earth's atmosphere this heat has been trapped, and due to the trapping of the heat trapped in the Earth atmosphere, and due to this Earth atmosphere has been increased. Earth atmosphere temperature is increased. This will lead to other effect that is called as greenhouse effect, and this greenhouse effect causes global warming. This global warming causes climate change. Now, if we'll understand the phenomenon of greenhouse effect, what is this greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is if we'll consider a car is there, and it is generally warmer than the air outside it, because sunlight and heat passes through the glass into the car, but heat is then trapped in the car and making it warmer. And due to this warming, the sunlight can pass through the windscreen and warm up the inside of the car, but it cannot be passed out of this glass, and the heat can't get back out through the windscreen, and the car become hotter. What will happen? The sunlight can pass through the screen and warm up the uh, atmosphere inside car, but this heat cannot go back out of the car, cannot go back out of the windscreen, and the car will become hotter. This is the greenhouse effect. This is the general meaning, normal phenomenon of this greenhouse effect. Like, greenhouse effect is generally warmer than the air outside it, because sunlight and heat passes through the glass into the air, but then that heat is trapped inside the car. It cannot be coming out of the car and making the car more heat, and more that will be increases the temperature inside the car. So same condition is happen with our atmosphere, and if we'll imagine our atmosphere is just like the car, then the same condition is created inside our atmosphere due to these greenhouse gases. These gases causing increase in the temperature and warm up the surface of the earth, and due to this warming, the greenhouse effect will be created. And see, this is the picturization of the this greenhouse effect. Infrared radiation from the sun passes through the atmosphere, but most is absorbed and re-emitted in all direction by greenhouse gas molecules and clouds. This effect is to warm the earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. This effect is called as greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect. Now, this will be like a average temperature of the earth is increased. You can see in the picture the net coming solar radiation is there, but the some of the solar radiation is reflected back by the atmosphere and earth's surface, and the outgoing solar radiation is 103 watt per meter square, and some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere and is lost in the space, but some of the infrared radiation is absorbed and re-emitted by the greenhouse gases molecule, and the direct effect in the warming the earth's surface and the troposphere. Surface gains more heat and infrared radiation is emitted again, and is converted into heat, causing the emission of long wave radiation back to the atmosphere, and the solar energy is absorbed by the earth's surface and warm it up in 168 watt per meter square. So this is the warming of earth atmosphere due to greenhouse gases, and it is called as greenhouse effect. Now, this greenhouse effect is causing global warming. Global warming is an increase in the average mean temperature of the Earth's near surface and ocean since the mid of 20th century, and is a projected continuation. In media, its synonym as climate change. Global warming is a climate change. Global warming is a climate change. What is this climate change? What will happen from global surface temperature that has increased 0.74 to 18 degrees Celsius during that 100-year ending in 2005? The IPCC has concluded that IPCC, that is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they have concluded that most of the observed increase in globally average temperature since the mid of 20th century is very likely due to the observed increase in greenhouse gas concentration. This is called via the enhanced greenhouse effect is called as global warming. Like the report, they have given the definition. The meaning of this climate change is like that. Most of the observed increase in globally average temperature since the mid 20th century is very likely due to the observed increase in greenhouse gas concentration is called as global warming and climate change. And global warming is climate, and climate change is almost same. It is the heating of earth atmosphere. Due to this heating pattern, the global average temperature has been changed, climate change has been occurred. Now comes to the next thing, that is about this greenhouse emission. That is, this greenhouse emission is caused due to this reason. The reason behind this greenhouse emission is rapid industrialization, industrial growth, explosion of population, sudden increase in population, depletion of natural resources, means over exploitation of natural resources, Next is the sometimes natural causes is also there, like volcanic eruptions. Then modification of ecosystem like adaptation. So these are the reason behind this greenhouse gas emission. So this greenhouse gas, they are the reason behind this greenhouse gas emission. First one is the rapid industrialization, population explosion, depletion of natural resources. Some natural phenomena is there like volcanic eruption, modification of ecosystem, change in the pattern of ecosystem. Now comes to the next, that is effect of global warming on the ecosystem. This global warming is affecting the ecosystem of that particular area. So what will happen? The coral system of are the marine ecosystem, and they are unique ecosystem that cannot handle the temperature in such more amount, and they are going to be extinct, and the wildfire will increases, and up to 30% of the species will be increased high risk of extinction due to this rapid change in their ecosystem. So this was about the adaptability of any species, adaptability of humans toward this increasing Earth's temperature. And this increasing Earth temperature will not be, many like this coral reef is there, they will be not be able to handle that much of stress. This will be, and that's why they will be going to be vanished, they will be extinct at some time, and their number is already reduced due to this global warming. So this lecture was about global warming, and it was about the climate change and adaptation of human beings, adaptation of species toward this food security, towards this global energy security, and towards this adaptation that has been developed in any species, towards the adaptation toward the change in average climatic pattern. In this way, many species will be able to handle the stress, and many will not be able to handle the stress. That's why this will lead to extinction of many species. But human behavior is also like that. They will be going to adapt toward this change in global pattern, and in this way, this climate change has caused food security has been arrived, because due to this change in global pattern, the crop will not be given yield that much amount which is needed, because due to population explosion, due to increase in population, our demand for shelter, food, crop has been increased. With that much of amount, the adaptation of crops toward the increased change in climatic pattern is very tough to get. That's why it is a duty of every individual. So they have to consider about the environment, and they will cut down that ecological footprint, carbon footprint. In this way, greenhouse gas emission will be reduced, and then global warming will be reduced, and this climate change is not going to happen. Thank you for today's lecture.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.